Every time I open yet another list of right or healthy foods, I feel like asking, do you even go to a real grocery store? Avocados, sweet potatoes, chia seeds? Guys, I live in the real world. A regular neighborhood store, 3 types of apples, prices that don't destroy your budget, and 20 minutes for cooking in the evening. Because that's real life. Hi everyone, I'm Riya Novak. Today, 16 foods for people who just want to eat normally. Whether you're watching your sugar, trying to lose weight, or just tired of useless internet advice. Everything is from a regular store, everything is affordable, and I'll show you how to actually cook it, without truffle oil or arugula pillows. Let's go. Let's start with the food that diabetics run from like it's fire, potatoes. Regular potatoes from a cheap net bag. In 100 grain of boiled potatoes, about 17 grain of carbohydrates. Do you know how much is in boiled buckwheat? About the same, roughly 20 grain. Yet people calmly eat buckwheat and treat potatoes like poison. But carb-wise, they're almost identical. The most important thing? Potatoes are incredibly filling. That's not my opinion. That's scientific research. Eat 1 medium potato, about the size of your fist, and you won't even think about food for 3 hours. And when you're full, you don't open the fridge every 30 minutes. You don't overeat. You don't gain weight. And weight control is the root issue in type 2 diabetes. The problem isn't potatoes, the problem is what we do with them. Mashed potatoes with butter and cream? That's a different story. Calorie-wise, it's like cake. But boiled in the skin, peeled, lightly salted, completely fine. Let me show you a recipe. I call it the lazy plate. Sounds funny, but it works. Boil 3 to 4 medium potatoes, slice them into thick rounds, add a piece of salted herring, not in oil. Fill half the plate with sauerkraut. That's it. 15 minutes from stove to table. And you've got a full meal that won't spike your blood sugar. Grandma's classic, perfectly aligned with modern nutrition principles. Protein, check. Fiber, check. Slow carbs, check. Chicken and turkey. Everyone knows that. Let's talk about something more interesting and cheaper. Herring. Pure protein and omega-3 for very little money. One rule. Buy it not in oil, but in its own juice or with spices. Oil gained unnecessary calories. You can eat herring with potatoes or make a fast dinner. Here's what I call 5-minute lazy Vorschmack. Mash a piece of herring with a fork directly on a plate. No blender needed. Add 1 tablespoon of cottage cheese, any fat level. Squeeze in 1/4 of a lemon, sprinkle with dill, spread it on whole grain bread. Yes, herring with cottage cheese sounds weird. Try it once. It's surprisingly delicious and filling. Canned mackerel. Another great option. Open the can, put it on a plate, add salad. Dinner in 5 minutes. Simple salad idea. Canned mackerel plus diced bell pepper, thinly sliced onion plus lemon juice. Mix. Done. Eat as is or wrap in flatbread. Now lentils. The sleeping giant nobody talks about. Dry lentils contain about 24 g of protein per 100 grower, almost like chicken. After cooking, it's around 8 gr per 100 grow on your plate. But for a cheap plant product, that's excellent. Red lentils cook in 20 minutes. No soaking needed. Simple recipe. 1 cup red lentils, 2 cups water. Half an onion, 1 bay leaf. Simmer 20 minutes. Done. Mash slightly if you want it thicker. Salt to taste. Add a pinch of cinnamon. Yes, cinnamon. It turns into something like a simple Indian dal. Easy, filling, cheap. Beans, red or white, same idea. Use dry beans, not canned with added sugar. Soak overnight, rinse, boil about 40 minutes. Minimal effort. Now vegetables. Most people eat cucumbers and tomatoes every single day. But cucumbers are basically water. 96% water. Very little fiber. We need 20-30 grain of fiber per day for gut health and blood sugar control. You'd have to eat bowls of cucumbers to get there. Be smarter. Bell pepper. Replace cucumbers with it and get triple the fiber at the same calories. Plus, more vitamin C than lemon or kiwi. 1 medium pepper covers your daily vitamin C. Slice it and snack on it instead of chips. Zucchini, extremely cheap in season. Here's a trick for people who want meat but fewer calories. Half and half cutlets. Take 500 green of ground chicken. Grate 1 medium zucchini. Squeeze out excess water through cheesecloth or just with your hands. Continue if you'd like me to translate the rest. Mix the zucchini half and half with the ground meat. Add salt and pepper. Add garlic if you like. Shape into patties. Bake in the oven at 180 for about 25 minutes. The calorie content is cut in half compared to regular cutlets, but the satiety is the same. Kids usually don't even notice the difference. Tested. Just remember, zucchini absorbs oil like a sponge. If you cook them in a pan, don't pour oil straight from the bottle. Use an oil spray. An oil spray isn't expensive, but it can save you up to 1,000 calories a month. Sauerkraut costs almost nothing and has almost zero carbs. It's a fermented product, which means it feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. You don't need it every day, but 2 to 3 times a week, add a small portion next to your main dish. One of those cases where grandma's recipe turns out to match modern microbiome science. Frozen green beans. For those evenings when you only have the energy to open the freezer and turn on the stove. Recipe called, I'm tired, but I'm still eating properly. Pour frozen green beans into a pan. Spray once with oil. Cover with a lid. After 5 minutes, crack 2 eggs directly on top. Cover again for 3 more minutes. Salt and pepper. Dinner is ready. Protein, check. Fiber, check. Minimal calories. And freezing does not destroy vitamins. It reduces them by about 5%, no more. The idea that frozen equals unhealthy is a myth. Pumpkin. Yes, you can and should eat it with diabetes. But there's a nuance. The more you process it, stew until mushy, blend into cream soup, the faster blood sugar rises because the fiber structure breaks down. Better to roast it in large chunks and eat it with meat or fish. Here's a recipe called Pumpkin for People Who Hate Pumpkin. Cut pumpkin into 2 2 similar cubes, spray with oil, sprinkle with cinnamon and a pinch of salt. Yes, salt with cinnamon. Bake at 200 for 20 minutes. It turns slightly caramelized, lightly sweet, crispy on the edges. Perfect as a side for chicken. By the way, write in the comments which of these vegetables you've never cooked before. I'm curious which one is the most unpopular. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it. Many diabetics are afraid of fruit altogether. They hear carbohydrates and immediately ban fruit forever. But fruit. Vitamins, fiber, hydration. You just need to choose wisely and combine them properly. Kiwi. About 10-11 g of carbs per 100 gram. That's small, more vitamin C than lemon. And here's a trick not everyone knows. You can eat kiwi with the skin. Yes, the fuzzy brown skin. Just wash it well with a brush under running water. The skin contains actinidin, an enzyme that helps digestion and protein breakdown. 2 or 3 kiwis a day, and constipation often improves on its own. Raspberries and blueberries. Those berries with tiny seeds inside. That's fiber in pure form. They contain about 10-12 g carbs per 100 gram. But here's the nuance. The sugar absorbs relatively quickly because they're juicy. So the key rule, always eat them with cottage cheese. Here's a breakfast you can eat every day without getting bored. A pack of cottage cheese. Any fat level, just no sugar or fruit additives. A handful of raspberries or blueberries, fresh or frozen, no difference. Mash the berries directly into the cottage cheese with a fork until it turns pink or purple. Done in 3 minutes. The protein from the cottage cheese slows down sugar absorption from the berries. Instead of a glucose spike, you get a smooth, steady curve on your glucose meter. Golden rule. A whole fruit is 100 times better than juice. Juice, chocker, fiber removed, pure sugar in water, nicely packaged. Whole fruit, chocker, slower absorption, fiber intact, no spike. Same with dried fruit. Dried apricots are basically concentrated candy. 3 dried apricots equal about 3 whole apricots in sugar, just without the water. Want fruit? Eat real fruit. Lemon. Here's an everyday dressing for any salad. Squeeze half a lemon. Add a pinch of salt and black pepper. Pour over any salad. Cucumbers, tomatoes, cabbage, peppers, onions. You've just replaced vegetable oil. about 900 calories per 100 gram with lemon juice, which has almost none. If you switch to this dressing once a day, you'll likely notice a difference on the scale within a month. There's a common idea in many people's heads. I have diabetes, so I can't eat any carbohydrates at all. Sounds logical. Carbs raise blood sugar, so eliminate all carbs from life. But no. If you cut carbohydrates too aggressively, the body switches to fats as its main fuel source, and the risk of heart and vascular problems increases. And with diabetes, the risk is already elevated. Carbohydrates are necessary, just the right ones and in the right portions. Whole wheat pasta. Here's the secret that changes everything. Don't overcook it. Al dente means slightly firm, not crunchy, but not mushy either. Undercooking by just 1 to 2 minutes significantly slows sugar absorption. Overcooked pasta. Serve blood sugar spike. Al dente pasta with chicken and vegetables. Smooth glucose curve. Recipe. Pasta you can eat with diabetes. Boil whole wheat spaghetti 1 minute less than the package says. Drain. In a pan, sauté 200-gram chicken breast pieces with bell pepper and crushed garlic for 3 minutes over high heat. Add the pasta directly from the pot into the pan. Mix. Squeeze 1/4 of a lemon on top. Done. 20 minutes. 1 pan. Full lunch for 2. Protein. Check. Slow carbs. Check. Vegetables. Check. Buckwheat. No need to explain buckwheat with chicken. You already know that one. Just one important thing. The brown color of buckwheat comes from the grain obolachka, outer layer. That layer contains fiber and B vitamins, the same ones some people receive via injections prescribed by neurologists. Or you could simply eat buckwheat 3 times a week and get them naturally through food. Do you know what patients with diabetes complain about most often? Food has become bland and depressing. If that's you, you've forgotten about spices, and they change everything. My favorite? Cinnamon. 0 calories, 0 carbs, affordable, found in every kitchen. Unlike most spices, cinnamon actually has scientific research behind it. Studies suggest it may slightly lower fasting blood sugar. Slightly. It's not a medication replacement. It won't replace metformin. But as a free bonus for flavor, why not? And it works everywhere. Morning porridge cottage cheese with berries, coffee-baked pumpkin, even chicken marinades. Here's a coffee you can drink every day. Brew regular coffee, Turkish, machine, instant, doesn't matter. Add a pinch of ground cinnamon and a pinch of vanilla powder. No sugar, no cafe syrups. Tastes like a 300 rubles latte without 300 extra calories. So, 16 foods. Not a single exotic superfood for crazy money. Everything from a regular grocery store, everything affordable. And one golden rule that works with all of them. Half the plate, vegetables, 1/4, slow carbohydrates, 1/4, protein. This is known as the Harvard Plate Principle. It was developed by nutrition experts to help prevent diabetes and heart disease. Remember this formula, and you'll stop being afraid of food. Food is not the enemy. The enemy is not knowing how to use it properly. If this video was helpful, like it so algorithms show it to others who need it. Subscribe if you're not already. There will be many practical videos about living with diabetes normally, without panic or extreme restrictions. And write in the comments, which product from this list will you try first? Or maybe you have your own simple diabetes-friendly recipe. Share it. Let's help each other. See you in the next video. Take care.